standards and how to do in process improvement. It's part of life, isn't it? Like, I don't know. As an operations leader, I just feel like it saved my career. Like, by trade, it's a nurse, and so clinically, I just feel like I was never taught to do process improvement, to break down different problems and silos and just break down the root cause analysis. Like, what's the root cause? Because for me, I'm a problem solver. If I see something that's not right for me, I just try to fix it and fix it right away. And I just realized, like I said earlier, it's hard because it's not sustainable. It's not a one person team. Like, I'm not working for myself. I'm working for my patients, for our providers, for our staff. And so, like, I have to figure out, like, what is the problem and who is it affecting most? Is it affecting the front desk, or is it affecting the patient that's checking in? And so for me, it's, if I don't have that kind of knowledge or that teaching or that resource, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, where I love my job so much. Like, I'm thrilled. Like, I don't know how many A3s I've done already, and now I'm doing another A3. And last week I was in another session of an A3 coaching because I'm like, I can't seem to get my problem statement right. So it's a continuous learning for me, even though I've done at least 25 A3s in the last 6 years. But it's continuing, is like identifying the problem, but having somebody here to help me, talk me through that, and bouncing ideas off each other, like working with you sometimes, make me realize, oh, that's a different perspective coming from a provider versus a leader. And so I by far, that's definitely really important to me. It's why we need it, and we have to continue to invest in this. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it comes down to, I've also been struck over time as I've learned more, as I've engaged in process improvement for longer, also appreciating the fact that time is valuable.
Oh, yeah.
And I think having the motivation to solve problems, many people have that motivation, and many people have really great ideas about how a problem might be solved. No matter what that intervention ultimately ends up being, it takes time to change culture, to change processes, to engage the people who are affected by those changes and affected by the processes. And having a structure and a tool like quality improvement makes it so that the energy that's invested in solving the problem ultimately leads to outcomes. I think that's where I'm struck by having learned quality improvement methodology, midway through my professional life. I reflect on, and still reflect on this as I'm coaching teams, on how many people come to the table with great ideas. But if that great idea isn't researched and actually rooted in a problem that actually exists the way people believe it to, there's a lot of energy wasted trying to implement a solution that ultimately doesn't end up solving the problem. And I think that we can all relate to the idea that our time is precious and valuable and limited. We don't have a bunch of time to just be putting these processes and new processes into place. And so using quality improvement methodology makes sure that the time that we're spending is as effective and efficient as possible, and actually leading to real change that's sustainable. So something that not only we can sustain in our own spaces and in our own local environments, but for some of these problems where the teams are tackling things that are not only happening in their workspace, but actually applicable to other clinic settings, you can then teach and share. Yeah. And so you've not only solved your problem and saved your team time by solving a problem efficiently and effectively, but you can also share it and help other people solve their problems. And they don't, they have to do some work to adapt it to their specific workplace, but you can actually, you can sort of sell it, or you can sell your solution with data and results and actual objective measurement, as opposed to just saying, hey, I have this great idea. Do you want to do it? It's going to cost you this much time and this much effort, and you're going to have to change the way your teams have been doing things for years, and it'll just be worth it because I think it's a great idea. Versus, hey, our teams were struggling with this problem. We were wasting 20 hours a week of medical assistant time. We looked into it, we found this problem, and this is how we solved it. Might this apply to your environment? And if so, I'm happy to share and tell you what we learned and help you implement this new process in your clinical workspace or in your environment. And this is what I think it could do for you. It could save your medical assistants 20 hours a week. And I think that's possible because I have some data to support that that's what could happen. I think that's just so incredibly powerful when time is such a valuable currency.